everyone. My name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe. I'm the Director of Programs and Events here at WBEC ORV, and we are honored to have you join us today for our newly certified WB onboarding. So, by nature of that title, that tells me that you all are either brand new or you've been with us for a little while, but maybe you haven't participated in a webinar like this. So, first, we want to say congratulations if you are brand new to your certification. And let me go ahead and share my screen as well. And I've got a couple of slides that I'll go over first, and then we will jump right in. So I always like to take a moment to introduce our team here at WBEC ORV, just in case you see any of them. That way you'll know who you'll be able to put a face to a name. So here at WBEC ORV, we are led by our president and CEO, Dr. Frederica Singletary. Our fractional CFO is Jackie Jordan. Our fractional CHRO is LaCosta Moore. Our Senior Director of Marketing, Communications, and Engagement is Courtney Martin. And then on the certification side, our Director of Certification Outreach is Colleen Rudisell. We have our Certification Manager, Robbie Moore. And then down here at the end, we have our Certification Specialist, Anita Steele. And then on the corporate side, our Corporate Engagement Manager is Devin Davis, and our Administrative Assistant is Morgan McDonald. And so we are a mighty team that work diligently to do everything that we need to do to help you all as business owners in terms of certification and programs and events. And then we like to take a moment to recognize our 2026 Champion Circle. Our Champion Circle is a sponsorship opportunity that we have for both our corporates and WBEs. And so without their support and the things that they do with us, we would not be able to provide all that we do for our WBE. So we want to take a moment to thank them. And then today I would like to go ahead and introduce your facilitator, who is Molly Zrake. She is the founder and CEO of the Boz Group. Molly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here. I love doing these, so I appreciate when I get a chance to sit and chat and meet with new WBEs. So welcome, ladies. Okay, I think that's my cue. So as Dr. Kay said, congratulations on being certified. I guess I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. My company, the Boz Group, is a professional services firm. So I have about 25 employees around the country, and we support typically large corporations, but also we have an offering for WBEs in managing all of their telecom, their internet services, and we do a lot of product management with rollout. So my company spans corporates and WBEs, and it's very people and project intensive. So I'm not a product person. I'm not helping you get your supplies on the shelf, but I'm more on the service side. And I've been around. I started Boz Group, gosh, it's 33 years ago now, and I've been certified as a WBE since 2015, and I have benefited tremendously personally and professionally from the network, and my business has as well. So I really it isn't some fast immediately, oh, you get certified and then you get business. It's really about jumping in, learning about the network, both locally and nationally, understanding the opportunities to participate and contribute, and figuring out where you best fit. So I'm really big on, as you look at everything we have here, really think about what are the right opportunities for you to engage and start thinking about participating and giving, and then you'll start to figure out what you're going to get. Because I was surprised. I've gotten so many more resources for my business than I ever expected. So here's an overview of what our presentation is about. We're going to talk about overall, look at the overall national corporation, which is WBENC, then the network, which is all the different regional partner organizations, which when Dr. K was showing you the staff, that's the staff of our regional partner organization. So we'll talk about that network. And then CORE is the acronym that WBENC uses to talk about what they offer to WBEs. Those are the topics we're going to go through here. All right, so WBENC, the national network, is designed to fuel economic growth globally through opportunities by identifying, certifying, and facilitating development of women-owned businesses. There are over 20,000 certified WBEs across the country. There are over 500 corporate members that are affiliated with the network that help fund a lot of the programming, and that also give opportunity, are looking for opportunities to hire and develop women-owned businesses. The national network is broken up into 14 regional partner organizations that we just talked about, and then it's all under the umbrella. So they're actually the national organization is a totally separate organization than the underlying regional partner organizations, but they are all kind of tightly linked. and then we'll go through what the core platform is when we get through there. Okay, so this is a map of the country. The different colors represent the different RPOs. You can see there that pink sort of up in the top middle, Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky is our RPO. WBEC stands for Women Business Enterprise Council, and ORV is Ohio River Valley. So that's our official name of our RPO. You, as a member, and these are all the contact, the email address of all the different RPOs if you want to contact any of them. As you, even though you were certified through WBEC ORV, but as a certified WBE through ORV, you have access to the entire network. So every single one of these RPOs, you can participate in their programming, you can attend their networking events, you can, potentially be a speaker at their events if there's a call for speakers or looking for all that. So you have access to all of them. Most there is definitely national programming done by WBENC, but the RPOs also do all their own programming as well. So like I, for instance, have a couple of large clients in the Atlanta area. So I have definitely wow, it's not, it's, what is it? Greater Women Business Council, GWBC is the organization, the third one down there that covers Atlanta. So I'm really connected with them. Also being from Toledo, I'm really close to Michigan, yeah. So the Great Lakes Business Council, second one down, is the one that's covering Michigan and Indiana. So those are the two other RPOs that I pay close attention to because they connect to my business. So moving on. And okay, so as a certified WBE, you have the ability to promote yourself as a WBE, and there's brand guidelines you can find on WBENC Link, which is the national organization's website. And there's two different logos here, and we'll talk about which one you use. I think there's more detailed slides about which is for which. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So the one on the left is for service businesses. This is your logo that you would put in your email if you want. It's the one that you put on your website. It says you're a certified business. The one on the right is for products. So if you're in the store, you'll see this women-owned logo on lots of products on the right. That tells you this product is created by, manufactured by, sold by a women-owned business. So that's the difference between the two logos, and it's really particular to make sure you use the right one in the right place. And the brand guidelines on WBENC Link will tell you exactly how to use that. Next page is going to show you some samples of like the places, the sealed ones on the left, you're using on your RFPs, your business cards, your email signatures, etc. And the one on the right, this is showing how it goes on products, either on the label for the product or in some of the marketing, the way that, again, Purell is Gojo, they're a local company. Again, if they're advertising their product, they're going to show the woman-owned logo. If they're advertising their company, it's going to be the WBNC seal. And all those brand guidelines are on the website. Okay, how to talk about things. Um, uh, you are the organization is WBENC. We're not WBNCs. Um, I guess the dash is important to leave in to say you're WBNC certified. That's a new one for me. Weebies, WBEs, women business, women, oftentimes we'll say Weebies for women-owned business. Again, you don't put the apostrophe in there. Always capitalized certification. It's a seal, not a logo, so that the women-owned is the logo, the one you put on your business card is a seal. And then there are two different certifications that you get from WBENC. One is you're certified as a woman-owned business. The other one, WOSB, is you're certified by the government to do business with the government as a woman-owned small business. So first one is commercial. The second one is really for government contracting. All right, recertification. Every year you have to recertify. The first year when you got certified, you did all the legwork and all the paperwork and everything, and then someone to do an interview with you and or a site visit to make sure that your everything to validate a lot of what's on your paper. You don't need to do an interview every year. It's every 3 years they do a full site visit that's required. But you do need to fill out the paperwork and show them, and especially if anything changes, if you have new leases or you bring on new owners or any of that kind of thing, it's super important to plan ahead to get the new paperwork that you need. for the first several years I was certified, it was always this race to make sure I got recertified. The office, the ORV requests 90 days. You have your paperwork in at least 90 days in advance so that they have time to get you recertified, get through the process so your certification doesn't expire. So if you, like my certification ends on October 31st. If I get my paperwork in October 15th, hey, I'm early, right? Nope, because the staff needs time to process your paperwork. So, so what would happen in that case is 1031, I expire. If I'm not going to be able to get on a WBENC link. I'm no longer a certified business. So there is a bit of a grace period, but it's a little bit challenging there. If you're in the middle of a RFP, let's say with a corporate, and you're expired, but you're renewing, it's a lot of explaining and legwork to explain to that corporate, and it may or may not fit in the RFP process. So just plan ahead. I start working on mine 4 months in advance, or I have my team do it. We haven't, and we know that we're gonna work on. I think it's the month of July is for interest. We're gonna work on it in July, so it's done by the end of the month, and we send it off. And so I don't even really relate to the 1031 date anymore. My date is 90 days prior. That's when I have to have it in. So if you just think that way, it makes it a lot better. Um, and what the recertification does is sit here. It's really they want to capture, are there any changes? And going through all the paperwork is what does that. So enough said about that. Sorry. Okay, ORV is a 501(c)(3). That's our local chapter here. We have over 1,000 certified WBEs and 60 to 70 corporate members. Um, Similar mission, but we want to is leading through innovation, collaboration, engaged group of corporates, government, WBs, and advocates. We are a catalyst for growth and sustainability by adding more core partners, W's in Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia region. The more people that get added to the network, the more support we have and the more collaboration we have. So I would say from this perspective, a bigger RPO is a better RPO because there's so many more opportunities for the people that participate. And our chairman, his motto has been, "We are the best RPO in the network," and constantly looking for ways to have that be a verifiable truth versus just our opinion compared to the others. So a little bit of friendly competition with some of the other RPOs, but we have you are lucky to live in a region where your RPO is super active, super engaged, and there's a lot going on. And so really take advantage of connecting. All right. So tips for the annual renewal process. I covered a lot of this. Um, Collect all your documents, and the documents are the same year over year. So once you did it the first time, it's hard. You start to know what you need. So just get yourself organized and on, 120 days before your certifications, you just start collecting the documents, work with your bookkeeper, whomever. You then file them all in through WBENC Link 2.0. And if you get that all filed by 90 days, that gives the staff enough time not only to get through your file, but if you missed anything, if something changed and they need more documentation, that gives you plenty of time for them to get back to you. And then you'll be notified through WNC Link that you're on anything emails that need to go back and forth. We'll all go through there. And then once you're certified, just engage, engage, engage. All right, your resources. Some of this, the WBNC link. There's the obviously use the seal, and then there's programs, and there's a calendar for at the national. These are at the national level, so there's national programs. There's a national calendar that you can look at to see everything that's going on. You can see all that on. If you just go to WBENC, I think it's .com or .org is where you see everything. And then a big campaign that they have is Act Intentionally, really encouraging everyone who comes to their website and cares about equality and sustainability and supporting women-owned businesses to look at the corporates that support us and support them in the way that you um, purchase goods and services, and also act intentionally and support each other, support other WBEs as well. But this Act Intentionally program is really designed around a campaign to support the corporates. Next. Okay. At the national level, this slide is showing you all the different programs and opportunities that they have. The ones in that top big section, a lot of these are all mostly online programs or hybrid. There's tons of, and across the top are some of the main um, education opportunities. Lots of great opportunities for education for entrepreneurs. So if I look across the top, I've done WeThrive. I've done WeThrive Digital. I haven't done WeIgnite, but they're really teaching you how to use the EOS system, Entrepreneur Operating System, and my company has been using that system for 10 years. So I think like, we're really good at that. So I keep meaning I'm going to do it one of these days. The Chemical Industry Accelerator. This is good if you're in the chemical industry. If you want to do business with some of the big chemical industry, if you can get into some of these industry accelerators, you get to touch with, you get really to be known by the company, the corporation that sponsor it. So if there's a corporation that you really want to get to know, see what programs they might be sponsoring and try and be a part of those programs, especially these education programs, because those are the ones where you really get a chance to engage more fully as you're learning the content. They're also learning about you. And then Capstone is a great program. It's at Dartmouth University. It's sponsored by a couple of our corporates, and typically there's scholarships for that. So if you can get yourself to Dartmouth for a couple of days, I just did that this past year. Really great 3-4 day entrepreneurial course. It changes, and then WBENC Lift. Um, I'm sorry, Capstone is an in-person program. The other ones are online, and WBENC Lift. This is a lot of different financial webinars that are great speakers talking about all the different financial aspects. So you can look for all these programs on the calendar and do as many as you can. Or what I think is important to do is kind of set yourself a pace for some of these bigger programs that are like 2 or 3 days, even if they're online. I'm going to do one of those every 6 months, or I'm going to do one of those every year, and then just pick the one that's right for you at the time. But some of the other seminars and things like that are good to just look at the calendar, and I try and get to at least one a month, because even if I don't feel like I have time for it, they're always helpful, and there's always a nugget or two that I get, and I get another chance to connect. And then at the bottom are the in-person programs. There's the national conference. There's We Pitch events where you can really learn how to pitch if selling and pitching is super important to you. Um, and then there's a whole big on-demand learning platform that they offer as well. Okay, our regional, so that's ORV here, WBEC ORV. If you've got the QR code at the top to get the upcoming programs for ORV, and then the QR code at the bottom to subscribe to the newsletter, you should definitely subscribe to the newsletter. And then, because that's going to tell you everything that's happening in the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana area. And it's also going to have some announcements for corporate as well. Um, and then we've got some other resources that are super helpful if you're looking for a business coach to unlock your future, unlock your potential. There's a lot of resources available through the SBA here on the right. So these ones on the right are available through SBA. The SBDC locator is a score. I actually just reached out to Score myself for a local Score contact. I'm looking at another phase of my business and transitioning the way that the business is set up. And so I reached out to Score to have a financial expert really help me understand what my opportunities were. So that's a really great resource. Um, and then Economic and Community Development Institute um, is got some different coaching and financial assistance. So SBC is really great if you need capital. It's a really great resource to small business loans at a really reasonable rate and easier to get oftentimes than through easier to get with better terms than through a commercial bank. So definitely check out those resources. And this is kind of where I started. Get involved. Um, you've got to get to know people. People have to get to know you. Um, I am not a great chit chatter. I am not a great natural. Hey, let's sit down and network and this and that. So I'm really good. I wanted to find ways where I could volunteer. If I can start working with you and we can get to know each other that way, that's just natural for my style. So I volunteered for everything that I could. And I still attended programs. So for me, attending the programs, sitting at tables where I didn't know people, if you posted, a lot of folks when they're on those kinds of things. Yes, I knew I could do that. It wasn't quite as comfortable, but I knew doing that would help. And it was really by attending those events that I started really getting the value, because the content in these events is always, I mean, by the time I was certified, I'd already been running my business for 20 years. I kind of thought I knew how to be an entrepreneur. And a lot of these topics I would go to mostly just because I got to get out there to meet people. And I started getting really, really empowered by the content. And often I met people I didn't even know were out there to meet that really helped me with my business. So my first event, I met a coach who helped me learn how to manage this network. I've met marketing folks. I've got my CPA, I've got my HR. Almost every business support service that I have is over time as I've moved over to a WBE because whatever relationship I had when I came in wasn't serving me as well as I needed it to. So really great to you get to know people that you can do that. And then, like I said, there's a lot of education programs. Um, that's it. Those are all the things that are on there that I'm going to talk about. Lots of different seals to show that you're engaged. Every year there's a WBENC star that's awarded. Each RPO picks someone who really is exceptionally active in the RPO and really gives back. There's a lot of volunteering and the like, and that's in every year the star award. When I first started in the network 10 years ago, I kind of said to myself, be cool if I could get that award. I didn't really, I mean, there's no way to go out for it. There's no way that you actually audition for it or anything. It's just by being involved, the RPO leaders pick the folks that are. And 10 years later, I was the star last year, so I was kind of like, cool. If you just and I just did it by little steps at a time. There was never any big campaign. It's just, um, but of all the volunteer hours I put in, I would say the benefit to myself personally and to my business was tenfold at least. They also honor top corporations that sponsor WBEs and work with the network and do a lot of WBE spend. And then the Legacy of Leaders. This is a really special award that's given by the national. And I think they give out like the star. There's one per RPO per year, but the Legacy of Leaders, WBE say gives out one of those maybe every couple of years. And so it's really it's an honor that's given to the women that are the most involved in an advisory capacity for the overall national network. So very seasoned leaders who get involved nationally, are on the national forum, typically on the national board, and just give back to WBEs and the national in a really meaningful way. So it's pretty cool. All right, so if we look at this year, some of the faces you want to know this year, Jill Fry was our trailblazer. That's an award that the staff gives out to one woman. She may or may not be certified, but who really is an exemplary is an example of giving back to the community. Runs a great business, but also really has a heart of service for the community. And Jill Fry, who you'll see a lot around almost all of our events. You can't miss Jill. She's got she's just got this spark of a personality. She's always so positive and always so helpful. So she was our Trailblazer awardee for last year, which was really awesome because she totally represents the spirit of that. And then the next picture I'm going to jump is Zuline Adams. She's our star for this year. Has been really active in the network of volunteering and contributing for the last several years. So it's great to see her recognized as our star. And then that middle thing listed is the forum. So every other year, each RPO gets to appoint 2 to 4 of their active WBEs to the national forum. This is then the there's two things that happen. These in our RPO, these women are leaders in the RPO. So the uh, women that are sort of the advisory capacity to ORV, we run different kinds of programs like at Catch the Wave, and we're also engaged. And then also at the national group has formed program that's nationwide. So there's roughly 200 women on the national forum that come from all the RPOs. So this is a great chance to meet them, get to know them. It's a chance for you to get known at the national level. So if you really want to network with other WBs around the country, or there's corporations that maybe aren't based in our region but are a part of the network, you want to get to know, like becoming involved locally to get appointed to the national forum is a great way to get connected. And it's also good. Like I was talking to one of the large WBEs at a national event, and I talked about the forum. I said, if you want to be on the forum, tell your RPO leader you want to be on the forum. Doesn't mean you're going to get on, but show them, volunteer, but also show them, hey, I'd be interested. I really want to get connected nationally, and so that's not a bad thing to do. And I put my hand up to be on the forum with the RPO leader, and it wasn't until about 2 years later that an opportunity came up, and I was nominated, but. Would she have nominated me without me putting my hand up? Maybe, but it didn't hurt to let her know that I was up for that position if it was available. So if you're interested in that, think about it and speak up. Okay, this if you do one thing all year, with your certification, I would say attend Catch the Wave. This is a regional program. It's put on by ORV, by our RPO. Um, it moves around the region. There's seven main cities that we work in, and so it moves. This coming year, it's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. It's at the end of August. Um, about 300 attendees. Um, and it's a great way to get to know all the women locally. I go, and again, I told you, this is not my thing normally. And I was having coffee with a woman locally here in Toledo when I first joined. I was kind of telling her, she was, just come with me. I have a booth. Get down there, stand at my booth. I will introduce you to people I know. You will be surprised. You will have, and you can hang by my side the whole time if you want. That spirit that she had is the spirit of everyone that you'll meet there. If you just kind of stick your hand and say, I don't know anyone, there's a million people will take you by the hand. They'll introduce you. They'll know a bit about your business. They'll introduce you to other people that they know. And it's a really friendly camaraderie. And you can really start to pick the brains of all other women that are newly certified, women that are around for a long time, small businesses, large businesses. They're all there and they're there to chat and connect and learn and grow together. It's a day and a half that's worth every penny you spend and every minute of time you invest. It will come back come back at you like tenfold if you engage. Don't just show, you got to engage, show up and engage. If you start talking to people, you'll be fine. There is a WBE showcase, so if you sponsor the event, you can set up a table and talk to you about your business. I mean, for me, that's a fun time. I always have someone from my company that actually sits at the booth and mans it, and I always walk around all the booths and talk with people. And if there's new businesses, I learn a bit about their business. Um, but you have like you just have to go to this event if you want to be involved and get a lot out of this organization. You have to attend this event. Oh, and the little thing, there's still lots of opportunities to sponsor. So if you want to have a booth, want to have your logo on all the equipment, on all the signage, go ahead and sign up. All right, so just talked to Catch the Wave, Bold and Brilliant, the Women of Color event. I've attended this event every year. It's a fabulous event for really women wellness, I would say, in the context of business. All the topics are really all about nurturing ourselves and caring for ourselves and learning. And for me, as a white woman in this network, this was a safe space for me. I didn't get for me, there's always been a safe space to have intelligent conversations about race questions that are on my heart and mind that I don't know how to talk about in general. I certainly don't want to sound insensitive or anything. And I've had some of the most amazing conversations. It can ask questions about race to my women of color colleagues and it's a respectful dialogue. So that's something I've always appreciated about the Women of Color event. It sort of brings that focus. Um, Women Distinction Awards lunch, and that's going to be a really cool roundtable in May. That will be a great in-person event to attend. So, I mean, Bold and Brilliant is Friday. So if you aren't signed up, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you can still get down. I'm sure you can. They can find a way to get you in, even though, but I don't, Dr. K might tell me not to. Um,
No, if
uh,
they want to come, I can get
Come,
them
come,
in.
come. Okay, good. Yeah. If you're interested, it's a day event this Friday in Columbus. Really nice, really great networking event. It's smaller than Catch the Wave, but really, really intimate. And the topics are really just different. They're focused on empowering women in a way that's has a more of a personal wellness flair to it more than Catch the Wave, which is about doing business. So it's a really cool day, and I'm excited to be headed there. Professional development. Okay, ORV BDP. Are we gonna have a whole slide on that, Dr. K? Or should I talk about it now?
Go ahead and talk about it now.
Okay. ORV BDP is this is an event that's pretty unique to our RPO. It's a seven module course. You do it in person. There's a cohort of anywhere from 6 to 10, either WBEs or high level team leaders of WBE. So I sent my chief operating officer to it. I think I'm going to send my sales and marketing officer to the next one. I did it. I was in the second course. It's great because you really get a couple of things. You get to connect really intimately with other WBEs that are going through the same things you are, talking about your business. You've got great entrepreneurial topics, marketing and finance and branding and leadership. And the cool thing is that it's always sponsored by a corporate. So this year's program is sponsored by Victoria's Secret. So it's hosted at Victoria's Secret. In the morning, you'll have a moderator from ORV or a partner, some kind of business coach talking about your topic. Maybe it's finances for your small business. Then you have a lot of networking, you do a lot of pitch work, and so you're pitching to your all your cohorts. And if you don't pitch, this is perfect because it's this tiniest group, it's the safest space. You're all learning how to craft a pitch, so it's a really great way to really cut your teeth on pitching. And if you're really great at it, you can coach and mentor some of the other women that are doing it. And then in the afternoon, you get someone, a mid manager to an executive from the sponsor organization who'll come in and talk to you about the topic. So if they're talking about finance, you might get a high level finance executive from Victoria's Secret come and talk to you. And when I did the program, I did it mostly for networking and also to get to know the staff, but I didn't think much of what is, and mine was sponsored by P&G, and my thought was, what is somebody from P&G? Like they're this huge CPG company, right? What can they possibly tell me about marketing or finance that applies to my teeny tiny little, service firm? And it turned out for me, those topics I thought were often better and more relatable than the actual course material itself. Like you needed the course material, but these corporate executives talking to you about the area, it was so meaningful. So you've got this great, you're connecting with the corporate, you're connecting with ORV staff and getting to know them and understand how the network works. And you're also learning great content and you're connecting with WBE. So it's typically one class a month down in Columbus. So you drive down for a day. Or if you're there and it's kind of like 9 to 3-ish is the programming. You've got some homework on the side, but I can't say enough. This is if you're going to do take one education opportunity in the whole network, I would start with this one. And I think that this year's course is going to be, oftentimes it starts in the spring. This year, you guys are lucky. It's not going to start till the fall. So you still have the opportunity to get in if that's what you want to do. Business Accelerator is another great program. That's more of those are more virtual seminars that they're going to be having. Oh no, Business Accelerator is for non-certified businesses. It's a training course for non-certified businesses, really small businesses just getting started. I think it's a great give back. Construction Summit is held by the construction industry to try and help people understand how to work in that field. And then there's other kinds of workshops. So lots. I mean, for me, a lot of people come into network just to sell, which I don't, I think that's a great thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I came into it's the professional development that really has kept me staying because it's just really good. And then the networking, it's professional development course and the networking that's led to a lot of my network of my business. So there's connects, there's coffee breaks, and then at the end of the year, there's a year-end annual meeting and year-end celebration. So get engaged. There's lots of opportunities to do it in whatever way works best for you. Okay, there's a QR code. We do have different committees, the corporate engagement committee, certification committee. You have to be certified for a year before you join that committee. So if you just did certify, you need to wait a year for that one. Communication and marketing, there's a finance committee. As the treasurer, I'm the chair of that committee. If you really have a strong sense of finance and want to join that committee, that's welcome. Programming and events, really, the staff puts on most of the programs. The program events committee is designed to be an advisory committee to help strategically think about these things. And then there's a woman of color committee. So if you want to get involved directly in a committee, those are the committees. Hit the QR code and let us know what you're interested in. That's it. Are we done?
We
Is that,
are, yes.
that
So before
okay?
I do this survey page,
Yes.
advancing before I do the survey page. Molly, if you had anything else you want to say, otherwise, I would love to be able to open it up to Julie and Asia to ask any questions, to introduce themselves, tell us about their businesses, where they're located. We've definitely made some assumptions that you all are here within ORV, Ohio River Valley area, but you might not be. So if you're able to, if you want to come on camera, if you're in the position to do so, and just introduce yourselves.
Hi.
Hi, Julie.
Not very pretty today. Hair is in a ponytail. I traveled 9 hours yesterday, and I'm just coming up for air today. I live in Chicago typically, but in March and April I travel. I hate the weather in Chicago, and so I drive out to California, and I'm live in California for like 5, 6 weeks. So that's where I am now. My business is corporate real estate. I help small and mid-sized companies. I act as almost like a fractional corporate real estate executive or a tenant advisor, tenant rep for small and mid-sized companies who have maybe one office, two offices, 4 offices, but don't have an internal real estate person and don't want to be a real estate person. Typically, the CFO hires me to help them get through the process of finding office space, working with their broker, designing it, project managing a fit out, moving them in. So that's what I do. I'm not looking for any new business. I love being part of this. I haven't been engaged. This is my 4th recertification. I haven't had time to devote as much time as I'd like to. And this year I said, I'm going to make more of an effort to get more involved. I haven't to date, and I really am only looking for 1 and 2 clients at a time. I don't want to work full time, but I want to be more involved. I went to my first event in Chicago about a month or 2 ago, and I enjoyed it and want to do more. That's my spiel.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I would I would
Yes.
I would pick a couple of I look at a couple of the RPOs. Great Lake could be good. Yours is Midwest, right? That's when you certify
Right.
through.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then like I said, we're really active RPO. We have tons of programs, so great. Join some webinars. I don't and then I would say just come to some of the in-person programs. Like get Cats Live on your calendar
Mm-hmm.
if you can, although I think that's when you're probably back out in California. But
Yeah,
that's
I'm here now. I just got here.
okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I will be, I intend to be more involved. So thank you. That's a
Awesome.
good overview of everything.
Thanks for joining us. It's great to
Hmm.
yeah, it's great to meet you. Wonderful. And Asia, what about you? Are you able to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Oh, she just texted.
Uh, Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's fine. So Asia says that she sings and entertains. She says she's taken that gift and has a corporation in music production and film production. She also has a nonprofit in Uganda, which is a school. She said the corporations that she has, I think she's had them 11 years, the school about 3 years. And then she provided her website there as well. So definitely welcome, Asia. That is awesome. That is awesome. Where are you located? Can you drop that into the chat? Oh, there we go. Okay, so she's California and New York.
imagine
Wonderful.
that, an entertainer in California, New York. That just
I know, right?
makes any sense.
Who would have thought? Well, welcome. It's great getting a chance to meet the two of you, and I'm glad. I will say, as while I may be the director of programs and events here at WeBEC ORV, I will encourage you all to get involved with your local chapter, with your local RPOs. While everything that we do that's virtual, you are all welcome to come and join us. Anything we do in person, you're welcome to hop on a plane or hop in the car and come and join us those as well. But I don't want to steal everybody because we know that we have the best RPO in the land. But definitely get involved with your local RPOs. And then because both of you travel between 2 different locations, Asia, California, New York, Julie, you with Illinois and California, as Molly mentioned, you can also get involved with the chapters there. And so you never know what they may be doing while you happen to be in those areas. And you may want to participate in some of those activities as well. So that's a really great opportunity. Do either of you have any questions at all about the information that Molly presented today?
No.
Perfect, perfect. So you will get it will be next week because we've got 2 events these next today and tomorrow. Sometime next week you will receive an email. Morgan will send that out. It will have a copy of the recording to this presentation. It will also have a copy of the presentation deck that was shared today. And so that way you'll be able to reference all the information that we shared in that way as well. Before I go into my final thoughts, I do want to share the survey code. And so here at ORV, we do believe that feedback is a gift. And so we do ask if you have the opportunity to scan this QR code and fill out our brief survey just to give us some feedback from our session today. If you're not in the position to do that right now, that's not a problem at all. When you receive that recap email, you will also receive a link to the survey. It's the same survey. So I always say it doesn't matter whether you do it today or whether you do it when you get the email. I just ask that you do it because that does give us feedback, and all of our surveys are reviewed by our programs and events committee. That way we make sure that everything that we're creating, can make tweaks and changes to it just to make things even better as we move forward. And then just to talk a little bit about some of the things that we are doing here at WeBEC ORV. As Molly mentioned, Bold and Brilliant, it's tomorrow. Super excited about that. And then the next few things that we have on here are actually virtual. So really anybody can attend. Our coffee breaks are a new series that we began this year, and it's a chance for our WBE certified or non-certified to come together, bring your coffee, bring your tea, or whatever it is that you drink at 10 a.m. Eastern. And it's a variety of different topics that we may be talking about. I think this next one is actually on how to set really good morning routines for yourself. I am not the best morning person, but these children require me to get up every morning, and so does my job. So, I'm really excited to learn about ways that I can be more effective in the mornings and set some really great routines with that. So I believe, if I remember correctly, that's what that session is. And then also, we do here at WeBEC ORV, we have some doing business with sessions that are for our certified WBs only, and it's an opportunity to meet with our corporate members that we've partnered with, and to learn about their systems. So I know that the two of you aren't in these areas, but we do have one coming up for Ohio Health. If that was something that you may be interested in, that is a webinar that you could join to learn more about what Ohio Health does and how you could potentially join forces or fulfill any opportunities that they may have for WBEs. Also on April 8th in the afternoon is our business development series. This one is going to be on navigating strategic partnerships and joint venture partnerships. This is a webinar that is free for our certified WBEs. There's a small nominal fee for non-certified. So if you want to invite, friends who you may know, male or female, who may, are business owners, one of the things that's really important to know is that getting into a strategic partnership or a joint venture partnership, it's not just, oh, Molly and I are best friends, and so we're going to go in business together. There's so much more that goes into that oftentimes people don't think about. And so we've got some legal counsel, Cheryl Borland, who's going to be facilitating that webinar. And she does an amazing job of really going deep, explaining the differences between all of those different partnership opportunities or options, and then how to really protect yourself and protect your business as you're going through those. So I think that's a really great webinar, even if you're not in the position right now where you think you want to partner, but it's always great to get the information because you never know when partnership opportunities may come. And then you got to try to email me and say, hey, Dr. K, can you send me that recording from 3 years ago when you guys did the strategic partnerships? So always great to get that information up front. And then, as Molly mentioned, some of our other networking opportunities that we do have a Connect coming up on April 9th in Columbus. It's our first Woman of Color Connect. We do WB Connects, and then we're also implementing a new Woman of Color Connect as well. And it's just a really great networking opportunity for both certified and non-certified business owners to come together. I like to say it's more low stakes, right? So it's more about creating the relationships and getting to know people, not just about how many business cards can you pass out. And it's, not that type of event. So if you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to our events calendar, and you'll see all of our events on our events calendar as well. That's about Bold and Brilliant. We already talked about that. A couple events that we have coming up later this year. Woman of Distinction is coming up on May 13th. That's going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. Registration will open for that on March the 30th. And then Catch the Wave is our regional conference that Molly was talking about. That is going to be August 24th and 25th in Louisville, Kentucky this year. And that is all I have today. Any final thoughts or final questions?
Oh, I was just going to say, I have an 8:45 call, so I'm going to drop a little early, but thank you so much.
No problem at all. Thank you so much, Julie, for joining us.
All right. Have a great day.
You take care.
Yes. Molly, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share?
I think I said enough. No, I'm
All
good.
right. Well, thank you both so much for your time today. Asia, thank you so much for joining us. Molly, as always, thank you so much for all of your love and support that you provide to WeBEC ORV. And you both have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.